Right, they're going to be like, yeah, Harry Kane, fuck you, you prick, Ali, yeah, fuck off.
If we finish above
Then,
Tottenham,
2 weeks later, it's the UEFA Nations League, and they're like, come on, guys, we can win this.
Yeah, DT did that. DT did that actually in the summer. He was doing that all summer. It's like, now they put on a Tottenham shirt. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter anymore. I forgive them everything. But when they have the Tottenham shirt, they're the enemy. But when they have the England shirt, they're my lads.
I have the same thoughts on that, though. To be fair,
seriously,
when you're representing England, I'm all for you. When you're representing Tottenham, you're scum.
Yeah, like
yeah, but still,
when England's playing, like, it's the only time that all these rival fans can come together and actually support as one.
It's the only time you see. It's the only time you see Arsenal and Tottenham fans standing side by side in harmony, and seeing Millwall and West Ham fans standing side by side in harmony.
Yeah, literally, like, all those scenes over the World Cup of the beer flying everywhere. You don't really get that.
I was part of that.
Get that at club football.
Do you know I was part of them scenes?
I'm pretty sure everyone was.
I was, and then flipping Croatia ruined it for us, didn't they?
we always come in and ruin it for you guys.
But then we beat them in the Nations League.
You got lucky.
Oh,
come on! It was an illegal throw-in where you scored a goal, and fucking Brozovic was an idiot. Like, that one-on-one, and he starts shot feinting. I'm like, just shoot the ball. He's 8 yards out, clean throw-in goal. Just put it on net. It's a goal. Like, he starts shot feinting and then ends up doing a back pass. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
There's mentality. Croatia are the Spurs of the nation.
Oh.
Hey, shut up. We kind of hard to watch. We're not Spurs. We're not Spurs. We're West Ham. You know why?
No,
because,
that's not as bad.
No, we're West Ham because see the thing about Spurs is, Spurs never make a final. They always bottle it in the semis. But West Ham,
at least Croatia got to a final.
What West Ham do?
Ham don't get to many finals.
See, but when they do, it's the thing. Like, Croatia usually don't get to finals. But when we get to finals, we manage to lose in the most excruciatingly painful way possible. Same way the West Ham do.
Yeah.
That's my
but
point.
I thought Arsenal. I thought France got lucky with a cup. Like, in my opinion, Croatia should have won the World Cup finals.
Yeah, but that's us being West Ham, man. That's the thing. We're supposed to outplay them only for Paul Pogba to score a screamer. Like this, it's the same thing with West Ham. West Ham outplayed Liverpool. West Ham outplayed Liverpool, and then Gerrard scored from 30 yards out.
Just a quick note. France begin their Euro 2020 qualifying campaign against Moldova away.
I'm slowly starting to hate France because they're just
like they can start playing their their C team players like Lacazette and Martial.
Exactly,
but then they've got Iceland at home after.
Yeah.
I actually don't want France to win. I want Croatia to win at this time because they fucking deserve.
No, you want England to win this time.
England.
Yeah, of course,
England.
The thing is that the problem with England is that they still aren't ready. Croatia got some balls, They just smacked Messi,
See,
no, it's not like you never know. It's a fact, mate.
We can.
Well, they're going to be 2 years older. All of those young players are going to be 2 years older, 2 years more.
But see, last time at the World Cup, our young wingers that we got coming through were all a bit too young to make an impact. Like Brekalo, who's playing at Wolfsburg right now and is really good, he was 19 years old. And he was in the preliminary squad. And now he's becoming a better and better player, and he actually came on in Wembley and made an impact. Like we have Nikola Vlasic, who was out of form, and he's balling out at CSK Moscow on loan from Everton. He's actually been great there. Like,
how long do you think Modric has got left in his international career?
Well, at least the Euros.
Do you reckon he'll be at the World Cup in 2022?
No. He's retiring after the Euros. See, the thing is, Mandzukic and Chorluka retired because they kind of felt, especially, I mean, Chorluka was done anyway. He basically
he was.
Yeah.
He was done as soon as he signed for Tottenham.
Yeah, but see, Mandzukic is the type of player, just his game, how physical he is as a player, it just takes a lot out of you to play an entire club season and then go to international breaks and everything with how he plays, with his playing style. So he retired because of that. But the rest of those guys, especially Modric and Rakitic, are of the mindset that they have unfinished business in terms of, like, as long as those two are around, they believe, like the entire nation believes, that we can have a pretty good chance at the Euros. Like, I'm not saying...
What about Perisic?
Well, he'll be around, but...
How long's Perisic got left in him, do you reckon?
The thing about Croatia is they click as a unit. Like, when they're together, like...
we're a team.
Yeah.
Team. Yeah, that's a good player. Fucking team.
The best defender in the world. They've got the best defender in the world.
You mean Vida? Vida, right?
Yeah,
Vida.
Vida.
Yeah, he was talking about Vida.
Lovren!
No, Vida. No, Vida. Vida.
Lovren will have a Premier League titles medal by then. You know, he'll be hungry for it.
Lovren. I mean, I love that quote. When he gave that quote, I was dying. Like, it's like, dude. But the thing with that is, that's like a typical. That's a typical Slavic quote. You won't get that out of any. You won't get that out of any other racial group in the world. But when you have a guy like Zlatan or Lovren or somebody like that, they're gonna think they're just as good as, like, Zlatan thinks he's just as good as Cristiano Ronaldo and Messi. Lovren thinks he's just as good as Van Dijk.
Zlatan can say that. Zlatan can say that because he's actually really good.
Zlatan has a right to say that. Zlatan has quality still now.
Yeah, but see, the mentality is you're gonna say that because you believe it. That's kind of the thing.
Yeah, but everyone else believes you with Zlatan. No one believes you with Lovren.
People respected Zlatan, but not Lovren.
Yeah, but it's like I'm saying it's a balls to the wall mentality. It just works in a way where.
But the £1 million question is: has anyone ever seen Gerrard win the league?
Champions League, yeah.
Sorry, Sanj.
We gotta talk about Milner almost doing a Gerrard with that scuffed clearance.
Oh man!
Like, it almost. Sanj, how terrified were you in that moment when Van Dijk headed that thing back?
I was fairly chill. I was like, yeah, Alisson will just pick this up. But then Alisson went with his feet as if it was a pass back. And I don't know what happened. Personally, I blame Alisson. Well, Milner said I take blame because my clearance was poor. Van Dijk said I take blame because I thought the header was poor. In my opinion, I thought it was Alisson's fault. Because if you jump on the ball, be a bit brave. Babel doesn't score.
And of all people, Ryan fucking Babel. Of all people.
Wow.
Did you see what he said? He said, "Oh, Virgil van Dijk has a weakness, but no one's found it out. I will expose it on the weekend." I was thinking, is that it? Just make him head backwards in rainy conditions?
I'm surprised Klopp didn't make an excuse. Like, the ball was wet; it slipped off his head or something.
We weren't. No excuses today.
Wow, that's the first. Klopp ill. No excuses. Is Klopp ill?
No, if we win, we don't make excuses. It showed great character.
The sun was in my eyes. The sun was in my eyes. The stadium wasn't designed to favour us. The grass was too long. A fly got in the defender's eye or something.
The stands are too short, so the wind can get in.
Wow.
By the way, what was funny was, like, Brendan actually winning a game with 10 men.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know if he pulled out the tremendous character line or not, but I bet he did.
I swear to God, if he takes points off Manchester City, he deserves a Premier League medal too.
What about a statue outside Anfield?
I don't know. Statue seems a bit much.
See,
we've already given Roy Hodgson one and Rafa Benitez one.
See, Brendan has to get a statue outside of Anfield, and of course, the description has to be a tremendous character.
Could you imagine Brendan Rodgers, like they score a last-minute winner, Leicester City against Manchester City, and like he runs down the touchline, busts open his shirt, and he's got a Liverpool shirt underneath.
Wow. Wow. I bet Liverpool would still find a way to bottle the league if that happened.
We would, literally. City have a really tough run in. I'm not confident we can still capitalise.
Until you're mathematically confirmed you're not confident.
But the only way Liverpool win this league is if they nick it. Like, you know when City nicked it off us in 2014?
Yeah.
Nick it off them. We're not going to stay first and hold it. That's not what Liverpool is.
I must ask you, Sanj, be completely honest and unbiased. Was that a penalty?
Oh. I think it is, but Mane did go down like a dive. Yeah. I thought it was a penalty, but then the way he went down, he made it look like it wasn't a penalty. I mean, what are you doing? He's grabbed you. Like, why is he doing a twist in the air and landing on his back? Just like, literally, like I said this before to someone else. I said Liverpool haven't mastered the art of conning the ref like Spurs do yet.
Yeah.
That's why we get called divers, because it's hard. It's easier to see with Liverpool. When Spurs do it, it's like, oh, I don't know, maybe it is a foul.
Yeah.
But you have to do it like Son, the K-pop dive. I got one last thing to say on Brendan. If he does manage to screw this up for City, and he does open like a shirt and there's a Liverpool shirt underneath, I bet he's gonna go into his press conference and say, "Oh, that Liverpool shirt, I mean, it means a lot, but Leicester is still my dream job."
Wow.
You know, every single job he takes is his dream job.
Yeah, of course. Even if he went to Tottenham or if he went to Burton Albion, this is my dream job.
if he went to Everton, he'd say that's his dream job. The Rant Boys Podcast.
Van Persie arriving. Oh, what a goal! What a goal by Robin Van Persie!
Fantastic lead.
Time to go! It's time to go!
Don't interrupt me.
I will interrupt. I will interrupt you because
you've got a small
it's time to go!
Don't interrupt. Look, you can't even speak.
Time to go!
You can't even speak. So don't interrupt.
And even when I can't speak, I speak more sense than you fucking ever do.
What are you swearing for? What are you swearing for?
It's time to go!
What are you swearing for?
Get it out of your fucking head!
I think even Pochettino's more passionate about Arsenal than Gronkia.
Like he's not owning, he's just sitting on his ass and waiting for the money to drip. Hi and welcome to a fresh episode of the Rant Boys Podcast.
About my who? About my what?
About my gang. Back from a week-long hiatus because we've been trying to figure out a live show for you guys, which will be coming hopefully this coming weekend on a Saturday. We will announce everything on Twitter and on the UFF Discord server, and it's going to be awesome. You guys will get to call in and chat to us, so please follow us on Twitter at rant_boys. That's at rant_boys for all information on our live show that's going to be coming up on our feed. But here today for our podcast and reaction on the weekend of football, of course, is my co-host, Tony.
So what should I call you? Should I call you Bullet, Tooth? You can call me Susan if it makes you happy. Tony.
You're right there.
And from Coventry, a Liverpool fan and a Coventry fan, Sanj.
Liverpool! Liverpool! Come on! Chocolates!
Hi, everybody. Top of the league again. Nice to be back.
Yeah. And from Chennai, India, back again, Ash.
Number 1 player Cynthia और हमारे जोशीले player Ash के बीच.
Honeymoon's over, lads. Back to shit.
And on that point, Tony, kick us off with Chelsea crapping the bed in Sarri's pajamas.
Yep, we start the week with the biggest shock. Well, we say shock. I don't know if it's really a shock on current form, but Everton 2, Chelsea 0. Another dent in Chelsea's top 4 hopes. What are your thoughts on this, Uber?
Well, my thought is, first of all, how dead is Higuain? How dead is Chelsea's finishing? I mean, they had a billion chances, literally a billion chances in the first 15 minutes. I thought Everton would be 5 down by halftime. It's like, wow, it's unbelievable how much this Chelsea team can miss. It's just, I can't fathom. It's if Hazard doesn't score, no one on that team can score. They create chance after chance after chance. Higuain wastes chance after chance after chance. Pedro can't hit the target on a couple of easy shots from outside the box. If he just finds the target, he's putting the ball in the corner, just a little bit into the rectangle, because Pedro, you have to aim for the rectangle part, the big rectangle. Higuain, the same thing. It's a big, huge rectangle part that you're supposed to hit, not the commercial hoardings behind the goal. You're not aiming for that. You're aiming for the rectangle with the little man with little hands named Jordan Pickford in there. That's what you're supposed to hit. But they can't. Other than Eden Hazard, no one can actually hit the target from a chance. This is unbelievable. And of course then, when you bottle it like that, in the second half, what's going to happen is you probably go in the locker room. Sarri came out and said after the game something to the tone of, "Oh, this was the best first half I have seen so far in Chelsea. I do not know what happened. I do not know. How the fuck do you not know? First of all, you guys came out in the first half, almost trampled them over with intensity and pressing, and everything was clicking. And then, what the fuck did you do at halftime? They came out at halftime, Everton ran them over. And I just don't understand this. And I want to know, from your experience, Sanj, as a Liverpool fan, are Everton, are they anything special this year?
To be 100% honest, they haven't really been special for quite a few years, because there was a stat, I'm not sure if you saw it during the game, they said Everton have not beaten a top 6 side since January 2017. And that was that's when they beat Man City 4-0 when Tom Davis scored that brilliant solo goal. Yeah. But since then, they've just fallen off. You know, Ronald Koeman had that season where they almost got relegated. They brought in Big Sam. Okay, he kept them up, but then the Everton fans were saying, this isn't the style of football we play. We're Everton Football Club. So they sack him, and they finally get Marco Silva. He's had an average start. He's not had a poor start because he's not in the relegation zone like Koeman was. But he's not been breathtaking or brilliant or the Everton of old. Like under Moyes, where literally I loved Everton because they would always take points off the top 6 clubs, apart from Liverpool. So I loved Everton very much. Now today, they seem to get run over by everyone, and then they actually turn up for Liverpool games now. So I'm starting to hate them a little bit. But that, like I said, that was the first time they've won a game against a top 6 team since 2017.
That shows how bad Chelsea are right now.
They're just like.
And can I just say a bit of breaking news for our viewers on the subject of Chelsea? Callum Hudson-Odoi has been called into the England squad, just so that the viewers know that bit of information.
Okay, that's interesting, because apparently according to Maurizio Sarri, he's not ready to play at the Premier League level. So apparently Pedro, who can't hit the fucking target from 5 yards out, is ready to play. But a guy that's homegrown and is clearly a lot more talented is ready to play. But
oh no,
Everton on that point do have a squad are traditionally Manchester United's dumping ground. So Ash, are you pleased for this result because it favors you in terms of top four?
Yeah, that's the only positive I could take with me after the shit show we did at Wolves on Sunday. But then again, the thing about Chelsea is that I still can't judge them. 1 week they come off with a good result against Man City. They just lost in penalties. They won against Spurs, and I thought they were back. And then we just saw the old Chelsea. I just can't figure them out. I'm slowly starting to fear that it's just the player power taking over again, and they're just slowly starting to just quit the season all over again. And another point is that I actually thought Marcos Alonso was pretty good in that match.
Yeah.
Or am I being deluded? No. Listen, let's give the man credit where it's due. I actually thought Marcos Alonso was good in that specific match.
Listen,
that's interesting.
Pablo Escobar with the weed is unfortunately getting blamed all over the place, and he was to blame for the penalty. And I think you can't dangle your leg out there and basically just leave it out there for someone to trip over, because players at this level are going to take that chance, because he just dangled his leg out there. He's never going to get the ball. Of course, Richarlison is just going to fall over and get the pen. It's easy. It's literally easy.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But and can I just add something, just to rub a bit of salt into the wounds for Chelsea fans? With it looking likely that Chelsea will finish 6th this season, if Man City were to somehow not win the FA Cup, so if Brighton, Watford or Wolves were to win the FA Cup, Chelsea wouldn't qualify for the group stage of the Europa League. They'd have to play a qualifying from the second qualifying round from the end of July, just so that everyone knows. Because if Wolves, Watford or Brighton win the FA Cup, then either one of them three would go into the Europa League group stage. Whereas if Man City win it, Man City already qualify for the Champions League through the league, so then it would open the group stage place up to 6th.
Yeah, so my thing with this Chelsea team is that they're unbelievably weird, because they, like I said, they came out and they stormed Everton in the first half, couldn't score, and then just fell apart in the second half and got bullied by Everton. It's unbelievable. And then Sarri gets asked about, did the mentality of the team fold? Did the team give up? And he's there with his cigarette fag saying, "Oh, I don't know. The team clearly didn't fold. They executed my ideas, but I don't know what happened." And it's just like he's just repeating, "I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened." Like, you're the fucking manager. You're supposed to figure it out. It's your job. It's your job to tell the people, tell your fans what happened. If you have no idea, how the hell are you supposed to fix this? Because this can't keep happening, that you guys keep getting chances, keep racking up these chances and can't finish. And it doesn't even matter. It's Higuain, it's Giroud, it's Morata, it's Pedro, it's Willian.
To be fair, it doesn't help when Sarri plays Kante a wing back. The guy's a defensive midfielder. Why the hell are you putting him a wing back? What the hell is happening there?
I mean, he's not.
This Sarriball's a joke.
But he's not playing him at a wing back. That's the thing. He's playing him as a box to box midfielder, and it works because Kante presses high, and it worked in the first half. The reason why it stopped working is because Chelsea just kind of like went out there in the second half and thought, I guess, we'll just do the same thing we did in the first half and eventually we'll score. And Everton came out and just started bullying them.
Yeah.
I mean, the intensity from Everton in the second half was really, really good. And you have to credit Silva with that because he obviously realized that the first half was crap and we needed to change. And he said after the game that we needed to change everything. So obviously they did. And it's very, very positive for Everton just to have some reinforcement in terms of what they've spent and what this team was meant to be and how the investment went into this team, that they're going in some sort of positive direction, but they still have a lot of dead wood that they have to shift from that squad, because I don't think their squad makes any sense. But before we move on to Man United, I just want to ask Ash, how much money, I'm sure you know, how much was Schneiderlin earning at Man United?
I mean, he was earning somewhere around 80 to 100. Was it?
80 to 100. I'm sure Everton is paying him the same kind of wages. Do you think that Morgan Schneiderlin is a player for 80 to 100,000 pounds?
No, definitely not.
There we go. We summed up Everton in one
And
sentence.
I just want to make one more point. Just a fun fact. Out of the top 6 teams, the big 6 teams, only Tottenham have lost more games than Chelsea in the league this season.
Yeah, because Tottenham don't draw.
The thing is that
No.
They win a lot of games.
Hazard's definitely leaving this summer. Chelsea can't buy any player this summer. And I'm not sure what they're going to do to make this team play good. I mean, the manager looks lost. And I don't think there's any hope in this club.
They've got Christian Pulisic coming in. That deal's already done, so that isn't affected. So.
Yeah, sure. Christian Pulisic is going to change the season all around. He's
sure.
just going to get used to that. He's going to the same Higuain excuse that Higuain being, given by Sarri. He's getting used to the league. Pulisic won't be getting used to the league as soon. He's not going to be better than Hazard. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether Chelsea are going to go up going forward.
What they're doing with Pulisic, though, is just replacing Pedro with American Pedro. It's like you're just bringing in the same exact guy that's now 30 and you're looking to shift. Because Pulisic is exactly that. He's Pedro. And if anyone saw that game against Tottenham at Wembley in the Champions League, it looked exactly like Pedro. Dribble. I'm agile. I can dribble. Look at me control the ball. And then when it comes time to shoot, I leg it out like I'm a 3-ounce chicken. It's literally, he can't kick the ball. There's no power.
No, and then he squares it back like Antonio Valencia.
Yeah. And it's just like he's not someone who's going to bring end product. Like Pulisic is a great ball carrier, but that's all he does. Same like Pedro. It's just I can dribble the ball into space. That's what I do.
Okay.
That's pretty much it.
So if you take out Hazard and Kanté of this team is nothing.
No.
And what's left?
But
Kante's definitely going to go this season. I won't be surprised if he leaves.
PSG have been linked with him, haven't they?
Yeah.
PSG have been linked with him heavily.
Yeah, PSG.
Real Madrid are linked to him.
With Hazard.
And Man United would love to have him.
Yeah, because Kante and Pogba can work well together. So if they were to replace Matic, they could bring in Kante. But on the subject of Manchester United, we move on to the FA Cup. Wolves 2, Manchester United 1. I'll start with you, Ash, as a United fan. What was your thoughts on this game?
Dead. Completely dead. Like, you just come off of a good result against PSG, and then our fans are giving excuses such as they got drained out. They're tired, but then hello again. We're Manchester United. We're supposed to play at the top level, and so you just have to put in performances week in, week out if you play at this club. You can't find excuses. You just played your best team. Yeah. All right, let's excuse Martial and Herrera, but then the rest of them, could at least manage. At least a goal. This team was good enough to beat Wolves. That's end of. That's the thing. And I was a bit frustrated. And people out there going on about Ole getting the team selection wrong. No, it's not Ole getting the team selection wrong. It's the players who didn't play. That's it.
Yeah.
Pogba wasn't at his usual form. Dello, okay, he's young. Okay, so let's leave him. But then what was Matic doing? Matic was atrocious.
I'll respect your outlook on that. The excuses thing, I've had this similar problem with our fans, the Arsenal fans in the past. Yeah. So your outlook on that about the excuses, I completely respect.
And there's another thing. There's I actually saw a post-match reaction from a gentleman in a very from a very prominent a United channel. He just said that the last time Marcus Rashford scored header was in his debut. Could you believe it? And wow. I'm not going to take everything that he said. I'm not going to say that he's a championship player, but then Marcus Rashford has to really step up if he wants to be compared to the likes of Mbappe, just like that's what our United fans say. But then I don't agree with it. I believe Mbappe is on another level.
Yeah.
But if Rashford is to be put at the top level, he needs to step up because he's 21. You can't play the age card.
Yeah.
Mbappe is not using it. So.
Mbappe's younger than him as well.
Yeah, Mbappe's younger than him, and he's got to fill in big shoes. Wayne Rooney's shoes. Now I see it's a very hard one to fill. Rooney could play it all. Rashford, the man's got a weak left foot. I have to say that he's got top eight, and of course, he's good at running in behind the lines. But then at the Premier League, that's not going to. But then it's actually useless when the team sits back, compact, makes you play narrow. It's going to be useless. And in these times, you need to step in, like drop in these holes and start playing the ball. And Rashford hasn't, in my opinion at least, he needs. He's a long way from from becoming a finished product. And as much as we can say Lukaku has Timberland shoes and stuff, I actually thought we missed a good target man. We actually missed someone who could actually take those crosses in and who could actually head those crosses. Lukaku would have at least had some impact. He would miss a couple, but then we actually had a lot of chances. I was actually, the other thing is that we didn't cross much.
Of course.
I'm not sure whether it was an instruction. I'm not sure whether it was an instruction given to the players, but then if you want to be at least threatening, you should be at least trying at least. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get.
What's your?
I get what you mean, man. But see, I really thought that what came to fruition was the fact that you mentioned Rashford. I don't think he's a brilliant link-up player at this stage. I think he can link up well, but the problem is when you have someone like Jesse Lingard, J-Lings, the backup dancer, tripping over the ball all of the time and having heavy touches in traffic, it doesn't help. And what you tried to do is you tried to play through Wolves, who basically sat back in a 8-man box and just soaked up pressure. And all they did was congest space and soak up pressure, and you're not going to be able to play through them if you're not moving the ball quickly and precisely. And if your players are taking heavy touches in space like Martial and Lingard were, it's not going to work. And especially with what Martial was doing. Martial got the ball and tried to go one-on-one, and by the time he would decide where he wants to go, there would be 3 Wolves players putting him in a box and limiting in space, and he would start dribbling and run into traffic. And then it started repeatedly happening. And another thing that they did is they knew exactly the timing of your overlaps. Pretty much not a single time that Dalot was trying to overlap on the right side, it worked, because he's not. I don't think Diogo Dalot is smart enough, and I don't think Lingard is intelligent enough for them to time the movement right, the way that Luke Shaw was doing it on the left-hand side. I think Shaw was timing his runs really well because he would see Doherty engage on Martial, because Martial is obviously a primary target that you need to close down driving with the ball. So Doherty would be engaged, and then Shaw would overlap, and then you would get some joy and some space with Luke Shaw down the left. But on the right side, Wolves know that they don't have to worry about Lingard. They can leave Lingard alone, basically, and he'll just run into traffic, and he'll run himself into trouble.
Yeah.
And with Dalot, it's just like all he does is run in a straight line and cross the ball. And if you...
I would...
Yeah, but then I'm fine with that. The thing is that, Abed, I think Dalot was actually had some defensive duties, and we all know what it means to play as a youngster for Manchester United. You just don't want to lose that position. So Dalot was actually he was calculated with his moves. But then Lingard should have offered us width. He didn't. And there's another thing about Rashford I want to raise. I mean, when Rashford played right, I actually thought Dalot was actually a better player in that position compared to Rashford. Against PSG, Dalot offered us a lot offensively when compared to Rashford playing in the right wing. No, I'm not going to... Yeah, that's the thing about Dalot. He does his job well. And basically, when you play a 4-3-3, in my opinion, I thought you need a lot of width. And Dalot gave us width when it came to PSG, Southampton's, etc.
Yeah, but see what Ole did. See what Ole did tactically is like he has like his book of tactics that you guys have you guys already have learned under Ole. So he has three formations. He has the standard 4-3-3 where basically Lingard plays right, Martial plays left, Rashford through the middle, and the 3-0 in midfield and the 4 at the back. And he started out with that, and then he went about 10 minutes in, he went to a 4-3-3 with Lingard as a false 9, and he spread Rashford right, and he spread Martial left. That didn't work either. Yeah. And then in the second half...
they swap it.
Then in the second half, he started dropping Matic as a third center back because Matic was getting raped by Moutinho and Neves in the middle, because those guys were running amok in the first half. Every time Wolves got the ball, they would just run ragged on Matic and Herrera. And what then Ole did to sort of congest space, he kind of pulled Matic back into the back line and pulled Lingard into the middle and had his fullbacks push up and tried to match up with Wolves in a formational sense. And then he put on Pereira as a third central midfielder on the left-hand side, and that didn't work. So basically whatever he chucked out there didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
So
and people are blaming his substitution when he brought on Scott McTominay and Mata. But then Mata was actually, it made sense because we needed creativity at the final third.
I'd like to get a Liverpool fan's perspective on this game. Sanj, what was your thoughts on this, Sanj?
I have to pretty much agree with much what Ash has said. That a few, like you could say, Lukaku was missing and stuff like that. I might be making an excuse for United fans, but maybe Martial and Lingard are a bit rusty, a bit not much fit, because they're not coming out back against a team like a Huddersfield or a Cardiff. They're coming up against a very, very good Wolves side. The best team outside the top 6, right? Our only a saviour and hope to stop Man City from winning the treble.
Yeah.
Very true.
Yeah.
Right?
But
I feel United just probably a little bit too tired, but it's not the end of the world because I think has only been here for 20 matches now, and I think 3 of those performances might have been under par: the PSG home leg, the Arsenal away leg, and now this Wolves one. 17 good results.
But then the thing is that I actually feel that this was a first significant loss under Ole, because against Arsenal we did put up a good performance. The result of it didn't come away, but then this one we were completely utter shit from 0 to 90. And the other thing about United fans is that where were these fans when Mourinho played Mata and Scott McTominay. When he subbed on Mata and Scott McTominay, there were moanings, there were complaints, but then over here there wasn't any. So that's the flip flop I'm talking about. You know, is the thing that we play a better style of football. That's the only thing that's keeping Ole safe. But then, pretty much apart from that, Mourinho just played the same plays that Ole did.
Yeah, but
they were put on to do the same job. That's it. End of.
Yeah, but that's because they're your best players, and that's kind of the man management side of Ole. He lifted everyone's spirits, and he kind of just made the guys enjoy football again, and they've been very clear about that. But I'm talking about the tactics alone. These guys were talking about these fans, these United fans. They said that tactically it's a wrong move, and Jose didn't know. But then, Ole did the same thing. It was tactically right, and Mata couldn't do anything. And listen, if this was under Jose Mourinho, they would actually shit on the guy. They would say that he's completely ruining the club and say that he's tactically wrong. He's tactically inept. Again, this looked like Mourinho's Manchester United.
Yeah, come on. But this was actually the best team. I mean, Mata's substitution made sense. You can't say no to that. Anyone who says no to that is dumb, because we wanted creativity in the final third. Lingard wasn't offering us anything. He was just a runner, but then there's no use when Wolves sit deep. I mean, he actually flops when the opposition team sits deep. That's the thing. We just crowd the center, and they were very comfortable having us play in the center.
Yeah,
that's it. So that's what I felt. I mean, so tactically, Mata's decision, like bringing on Mata, made sense.
Yeah, I don't get the reasoning with United fans when people say, "Oh, Ole got his tactics wrong." Like, he basically chucked the kitchen sink at it. I went through it.
Yeah.
He basically went through his entire tactical book. All of the formations you guys are trained in, he tried. All of the options you guys have, except for Lukaku, who was injured, and pumping balls into Lukaku, you basically tried everything else. And it just didn't work.
That's what I said. There's nothing wrong tactically.
Yeah, but now whether it's the players who didn't perform, which I think is the case, or whether you're going to blame Solskjaer for not finding the right tactical formula, I don't think you can blame him for not finding the right tactical formula, because let's be real. He literally throughout the game tried changing the tactics 3 or 4 times, and with different personnel and different options. He tried everything he could. It just no one could do anything on the day, and all your major players were shit. Pogba was shit. Lindelof was crap at the back. Smalling was all over the place. The only guy that played well was Luke Shaw, and Romero saved you a couple of times in goal, and that was about it.
But sticking with the FA Cup, another result. Swansea 2, Manchester City 3. Man City with a comeback scraping through there. What's your thoughts on this, Uber?
Yeah, I want to run through this quickly because this game, I mean, we all kind of had a feeling that City would win. The moment that Swansea went ahead was really surprising, and they basically went ahead how you go ahead against Man City. You cross the center circle twice. If you put your 2 counters that City allow a game, if you put those away, you're going to go ahead and you have a chance of winning. We saw Crystal Palace do that. We saw Leicester do that. So Swansea actually played pretty well and did what they had to do. Now, the thing that didn't do what it had to do was the FA, and actually having VAR in a stadium where VAR can be implemented. So Swansea Stadium is a former Premier League stadium. This reasoning that we can only have VAR at Premier League stadiums is ridiculous to put on Swansea when Swansea was in the Premier League last season. So
exactly, and if the thing is, it's a fairly modern stadium. If it was an older stadium, you could understand.
Yeah,
but it's a fairly modern stadium, so for me, there's no excuses there.
It's not fucking Craven Cottage. Like what are we talking about? This is like this is a modern ground. Like, why is there no VAR? And I'm pissed off because City scored 1 goal from an offside, and the penalty was not a penalty.
Yeah.
So it's basically
they were robbed.
It's 2 goals given to City that should have been taken off, and Swansea should have gone through. And now, what are we supposed to do? So City win the quadruple theoretically. No one's gonna. I mean, some people might remember this, but is it not unfair on not just Swansea City but in general if you can have VAR in the stadium to not have VAR? Sanj, correct me on this if I'm wrong. They should have done it, right?
Yeah, 100%. It was a Premier League stadium last year, and I'm pretty sure Spurs played Swansea at the Liberty Stadium last year in the FA Cup, and I believe VAR was in play there. So it shows that that's a liable stadium for VAR.
Yeah.
So I don't know, just because it's a Championship stadium this season, it means it's a bit silly. It's the quarterfinals, it's the serious, it's the running of the competition. You want everything to be fair, correct, and perfect. No controversy. Just the best team goes through. And they had the chance for VAR to make it fair, to make it. Fairly. I know the semi-final and the final might be rubbish if City are not in it, but at least we're going to have a new winner. We're going to have the possibility of a crazy freak team in the Europa League next year and winning it. Obviously, Wolves, they can get it if they finish 7th. City win the FA Cup, or they could win it, get group stage straight away if they win the FA Cup. But could you imagine if a Brighton or a Watford are in Europa League next year? That would be crazy.
For me, it just shows the favouritism towards Man City, in my opinion.
Exactly. How many times have Man City gotten up the hook? They've got awarded penalties a lot of times this season. A lot of times. I mean, they've been basically robbing teams. That's what I feel. They got easier. No, listen, I'm not voting because I'm the rival, but then, come on. The refs been atrocious when Man City are... when they're playing with Man City. That's the thing, man. It pisses me off. And then we have these new age kids comparing this team to the legends, and that's what is irritating. These guys, I mean, these new age kids, they don't know shit about football.
Exactly.
They don't. Yeah, they have no clue what defenders used to be like. I know I'm dead. Yeah,
it's true.
I know
you can't
but the thing is that
compare.
It pisses me off, and I hate Pep more than ever because you know why? That man hasn't built a team on his own. In my opinion, I would rate Emery, Klopp, Pochettino over that fucking ball fraud who jumps from team to team, who do well in the top league. That's it. That's what he does. He sits here for another 3 years, and then when he knows that his job is getting insecure or the team is doing poorly, he then jumps the ship to another big club, and then he does what he does best: fucking buys players and makes them play good. Yeah, he's got a good tactic. I'll give you that. But then that's not managing. That's not managing. Managing is about what you make of it. Like, what do you make of a scrap team? Ferguson did that. Ferguson has a right to stay at Manchester United because he built Manchester United from zero. Wenger did that. So, I mean, these guys can stay as long as they want. It's not loyalty. It's because I personally believe Ferguson has a right to do because he built his team on his own without the money and without any help, without any external help. That's it. While Pep Guardiola, he went from Barcelona, which was one of the best teams at that moment, to Bayern. They were a treble-winning team. They got to 2 successive finals in the Champions League. And then what did he do with Bayern? Nothing. I mean, when you inherit a team like Bayern, you're supposed to win the Champions League at least once in those 3 years. He did nothing. What Jupp Heynckes did with Bayern was a magic when compared to Pep. Pep did nothing at Bayern. Winning the Bundesliga, that's easy made. Bayern could actually play shit. And then in the second season, they're now at the top of the league. So that's how shit the Bundesliga is. No, not trying to no disrespect. But then Bayern make it look so disrespectful. And then there he goes. He goes to City. He gets a bunch of players. Yeah.
You know what
he's got
Pep did
2
to
teams
that
at his
team?
disposal at City, and then he's only 1 point ahead of Klopp. So hats off to Klopp, even though I hate him as a rival. Hats off to Klopp for sticking to him. And Pep Guardiola and the City fans, I'm not sure if they are there or not. They should be ashamed of it. They can't call this a great masterclass from Pep Guardiola or their team. They're just 1 point ahead of Liverpool. Liverpool, I mean, they got a thin squad when compared to City. Like,
I
look
agree.
at the bench that City's got to offer. They got Bernardo Silva, they got Kevin De Bruyne, they got Mahrez, and Gabriel Jesus. I mean, it keeps going on. And when the bank gets annoyed with a couple of
all
things,
of which, by the way, played crap. All of which, by the way, played crap against the Championship this weekend.
And and then there comes a Sheikh Sand into play. He fucking bites him. Listen, I mean, with all the rumors, getting strong day by day, I'm thinking that Pep Guardiola is going to move to Juventus because City are going to get banned the next season. That's what's happening. This guy's a fucking fraud, just like and he's low on self-confidence because that's what Bayern's medical coach said when he was at Bayern. No, it's a fact. It's a fact. Bayern's medical head said that he's a guy low on self-confidence and he can't fucking hide that. He just wears a facade saying that now all's good and well, but then deep down, he's as fucking insecure as any other guy. That's why I respect Jose Mourinho. And there goes my rant, man. Jose Mourinho did something with an Inter Milan team. You know why? Listen, I tell you why. Jose Mourinho at Inter had to let go of Zlatan and his prime to Barcelona. He got an aging Retu. He bought Lucio, and he did well with that team, and he made them treble winners. What did Pep Guardiola do when he procured Zlatan Ibrahimovic? He had Messi, the Henrys. He won. He basically won a Champions League. That's it. I mean, with that team, Ferguson would have won the triple treble. Yeah, I know it's something new, but then Ferguson with that City team would have won the treble at least thrice. Or let's say for consecutive 3 seasons in a row. He's got 2 teams. You could say, you could basically play Man City A and Man City B in FIFA, and that's and both of them would be 4.5 stars. And then we have these fucking kids today, who actually support the new age sharks. They call it, and they talk smack about Arsenal. They talk smack about United. They talk smack about Liverpool. They talk smack about Inter, AC Milan. Just get your fucking books and read. Do your homework before you talk shit. And I'm ready to challenge anyone who comes live on, Oba definitely said that we're going live stream. I want if any City fans, who's got the balls to produce facts in front of me, or I'm going to destroy them completely. Just don't give me the bullshit excuse of we play beautiful football. We scored tons of goals. We got 100 points last season. That's nothing, mate. Nothing.
Ash deserves a standing ovation for that because he hit the nail on the head.
He just annihilated the entire life's work of Pep Guardiola in 5 minutes.
Hang on. One more thing. If Pep Guardiola doesn't win the Champions League this time, it's a fucking failure. That's the whole project about City. It's about winning a Champions League. And for City fans to have such low standards, saying that the league is your bread and butter, that's the most important thing. No, it's not, you bloody fools. No, it's not, you bankers. It's the Champions League because your team was built on winning the Champions League. You were built to win the Champions League, and you spent a lot to win the Champions League, not the fucking league, yeah? And now you're struggling to cope up with the Liverpool pressure. They're actually 1 point behind you, and that's why I actually want Liverpool to win, even though I hate it. But then it's good for football. Liverpool, I respect them as rivals, but Man City, no one cares about them. They're just here for the honeymoon period.
Exactly.
And when they shake off with another business, that's it. They're a dead club.
Well,
that's it.
On the subject of Liverpool, on our Susan, shall we go on to Liverpool scraping through 2-1 win away to Fulham? Milner scoring a penalty. What was your thoughts on this game as a Liverpool fan?
I mean, a vital 3 points. Like with Man City not playing in the Premier League, we need to go back on top of the table to then put the pressure on them when after the international break.
Yeah.
Yes, they play Fulham at the Etihad, so that's 3 points guaranteed. But it's just that if we can stay on top until they play that game in hand against Manchester United, that will be a massive game.
Was it a penalty though?
I'd admit it can be a little bit soft.
Yeah.
I thought it was. He did grab him. But the problem is, it's the way Mane went down. He went down too theatrically. Like, he went down as if it was a dive again. And it's just like, can no one teach these players how to go down properly and make it look legit? like I said, they need lessons off Tottenham Hotspur, because they've perfected it. Liverpool haven't. They're not very good at it.
Yeah, what's your thoughts on this, Uber? Fulham 1, Liverpool 2, and also, do you think that was a penalty?
See, I think it was a clear-cut penalty, but I'm surprised that Fulham and Scotty P actually managed to put some fear into Liverpool, but it was mostly because Liverpool were just missing chances. It's just I mean, Mo Salah might as well be running around with a fucking Tutankhamun mask out there, how dead he is.
Salame.
Like, there's zero finishing from him right now. Zero. He has chance after he has at least 2-3 good chances to score in each and every game for the last about 10 games. There's been about a 10-game run where he's been totally dead. So that's why I'm saying they might as well put him in a fucking sarcophagus and lock him up because he's useless right now. He can't hit a Listen, the Pharaoh can't hit a pyramid from 3 yards out right now.
Yeah.
Where is he? Where is he at now? It's like he's shit. I don't want to bash Mo Salah's head in. I know I just did that, but again, I don't not rate the guy any. It's not that I don't rate him anymore. I still think he has tremendous impact on the team, and I think he still draws a heck of a lot of attention from defenders, and he causes panic in the opposition back line. And obviously, the focus on Salah allows Mane to go on these great scoring runs, and it opens space for the rest of Liverpool's team. But again, I get frustrated when a guy like Mohamed Salah goes in and just wastes good chances that you know that if he just has that little tad of composure that you know he has in him, you know he's going to put those away. But again, it's been a 10-game run where literally everything he can do wrong in that situation he does. Whether it's a heavy touch or puts the ball in the wrong corner or shortens his own angle, like against Everton, he takes the ball one touch too much wide instead of cutting in on his left immediately and putting it away. Whatever decision he can make wrong right now, he does it, and it's just frustrating for me. I'm not a Liverpool fan, but I would prefer Liverpool to win the title ahead of Man City, not just so my opinion is right, by the way. It's simply because I fucking hate Man City. And
I agree.
I agree with most of the stuff that Ash said. I completely hate that team, and I don't want to see them winning the Premier League. And
I don't even want to see them win the Carabao Cup. It pained me when they won the Carabao Cup.
I mean, it's frustrating to me right now that a guy like Mo Salah, with his level of talent, is not capable of capitalizing the chances that are presented to him, because he could have had such a better season. It could have been miles better than the impact he's had right now, and it's just, I feel like this is going to catch up with Liverpool eventually, because Sadio Mane, if anything, he's proven that he is very much a player who is a streaky scorer. He's not consistent in terms of scoring. He goes on runs. He will score 4 or 5 goals in a 3-game sample, but you don't know when it's going to run out. I still remember the Napoli game at home at Anfield in the Champions League, the decider, that Liverpool barely won and Mane missed at 5 or 6 sitters.
Wow.
But then 2 months later, he's hitting the goal from basically anywhere, 30 yards out. If right now Sadio Mane took a shot with his dick from the center circle, it would probably go in.
What are your thoughts on the game, Dan? I don't know if you saw it. Fulham 1, Liverpool 2.
Can Dan talk?
Liverpool.
Okay.
I don't know. I wasn't watching it, but I was watching the kickoff with Mark Goldbridge and True Geordie and all on it.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought Fulham did really well. To be fair, I was expecting them to get smashed, but they didn't.
Yeah, Fulham were definitely the better team in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, Liverpool are. I don't know. I think they're panicking a bit, but they haven't really been good in the whole year.
No.
In 2019, they haven't been that great. They've just been dropping too many points on draws and stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, they haven't lost many games.
Yeah.
The only one they did, I think, was against City.
Yeah, that's the only game they've lost this season in the league.
But they're still dropping points somehow, and it's just like that game they almost dropped more points again, and if they dropped points then, that would have been really costly. So they got away with it in that game.
Did you see the penalty? Was it a penalty for you if you did see it?
I didn't see it. But it wasn't a penalty because Liverpool, I hate them, so it's
Ash, was it? Did you get a chance to see the penalty? For you, was it a penalty?
Yeah. I saw the match. It's definitely a penalty, but then that's how players are these days. You touch them, they fall off the ground so fast.
Yeah. See, for me, I thought it was soft. Like he did.
But then I actually thought Mane had. I mean, like if he hadn't done that, it wouldn't have been given as a because the refs weren't actually something dramatic, and Mane got actually shot down. So, yeah.
See, I'm stuck in the middle with it. For me, I thought it was a soft penalty, but at the same time, from a goalkeeper's perspective, do not put your hands on the striker. You know you're walking into trouble when, as a goalie or a defender, you put your hands on the striker in the box. You're asking for trouble.
Yeah. And about the game, I thought like the positive thing about Liverpool is that they actually play with urgency when they know they're actually when it's when the scores are level or when they're losing 1-0 down. I actually saw a lot of urgency from Liverpool when they were 1-1, and I mean it was coming. You could see that second goal coming.
Yeah.
And then right at the time, that's it. So that's the positive thing about Liverpool, and I basically feel that's what they have to capitalize on. Like start the game with urgency. Like if they could actually finish off these teams in the first half, and then slow the tempo. I mean, Klopp's actually learned to, he's learned game management a lot, and he knows to use his players, and he knows to contain the lead. So, I think it's they shouldn't be letting the pressure get to them and just take it one match at a time.
Yeah.
And I know. I mean, the sheikhs are, getting, buying all the rest they could buy in the whole world. But then for the good, the footballing gods are on Liverpool's side. So yeah.
Let me ask you, Sanj.
Yeah.
Do you see City dropping any more points this season in the league?
I do. I do. They've got a horrific run-in, really. They've got to go to Palace away, who seem to be their bogey team. They've got Leicester at home. They should beat Leicester at home, but just that Brendan Rodgers factors. Who knows? Obviously, they've got Man United away. That's a massive one. That is an absolute massive one. That could swing it in our favour. They've got Spurs at home. They should win that, but who knows? Like I said, Spurs are playing City. Was it 3 times in 10 days or something like that because of the Champions League? Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know which. Do they play one Champions League leg first or both of them first?
No, one first, and then comes the Champions League fixture, and then again this.
So,
I'm sorry. The Champions League fixture comes first, and then the league.
Literally, it could be mind games. Like if Spurs win one of those games, it could get into City's head, and then whatever. Anything could happen. But yeah, I think Palace away, Spurs home, or Man United away. I think they're the one of the 3 games that they could drop points. Only problem is the way Liverpool are playing right now. I feel Liverpool could drop points.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah,
for example, Chelsea at home. That should be 3 points. the performance, but Hazard always turns up against Liverpool, as we saw in the Carabao Cup early in September.
And Tutan Salah is up front. He's, if he can emerge from his sarcophagus and do an Imhotep in the second part of this last run, and I think you guys are good. But if he can't resurrect himself and chase around the spirits of the dead or whatever, like in The Mummy, it's like you guys. It's just I wouldn't like as a Liverpool fan having to rely on Sadio Mane to bail us out. It's just I don't trust Mane in a consistent run and that he's going to get the goals. But I want to shift the conversation to Dan and ask him, do you have a confidence level after how United looked against Wolves that you can potentially beat Man City at home?
No. I mean, I wasn't confident for PSG, so I guess it's kind of I'm hoping for reverse psychology really, but no, I'm not confident against City. City's third reserve team could probably win the league. Let's be honest. No matter what squad they put out, they're just too strong. But I'd like to with that Liverpool point now. Haven't they got Oxlade-Chamberlain coming back at some point now?
We do, but it's just a question. Like, you saw Lingard and Martial's performance. I don't think they were quite ready for that Wolves game. Can Ox come back into this team and get to the level that they're on now with the pressure? I don't know.
He's been out for basically a year, so
it's he's been he just put a story with Terry Edwards. Yeah, he was playing with a cat, it seems. So definitely not. No, it's a big no if I'm Klopp.
I'd like to get a one-word answer from each and every one of you. Before we move on to the Italian league, I'd like to get a one-word answer from each one of you. Sanj, City or Liverpool do you think will win the league? Not who you... We know who you want to win the league. Who do you think will win the league?
I think it will be City.
Hang on. Not the deluded answer. So, yeah.
So your heart is telling you Liverpool, so you want Liverpool, but your head's telling you City are the strongest side, of course.
Yeah.
Dan?
Like Uber said, relying on Mane if Salah doesn't start hitting form, that could cost us.
Dan?
Come on.
City or Liverpool, Dan?
Hang on. These fuckers couldn't even rely on Gerrard, and you're asking them to rely on Mane and Salah.
That is true. Let me ask you, Dan. Do you think City or Liverpool, one word answer, will win the league?
Yeah.
It would have been funny if you said neither.
I think United are going to win the league.
Wow.
All seriousness, I generally think Liverpool are going to win this league.
Really?
However, I swear down, you ask us this question every week.
Yeah, because the dynamics changed. At one point, Liverpool were in charge, and now they're just like
but the
game in hand and
the dynamics don't change. The dynamics don't change that much that you have to ask every single podcast. It's but
I'm not going to flip flop and change my mind within a space of a week.
Yeah,
but I do understand. I do understand where you're coming in. But see. What I'm thinking is, I need to ask Dan this point. You guys are obviously in a pickle, given that the two contenders for the league are your two biggest rivals. So, as a United fan, you have a chance to basically, if you win against Man City at home, and by the way, it suits you playing on a counter-attack, and you'll have to play on a counter-attack against Man City. Are you rooting for United to win that game and basically hand Liverpool the title, or are you undecided as to what outcome you want in that game?
I don't actually give a shit, to be honest. Like, I mean, it's United. I care about whoever wins the league. That's not our problem. Like, we could have stopped them, but it's out of our hands now. So I just want to get top 4 and move on from this. I mean, I'd prefer City to win the league, because if City win the league, then no one's gonna give a shit because they're irrelevant. They've got no fans to like banter. It's like City could win the Mark Goldbridge keeps saying this. City could win the quadruple, and no one would care. They're irrelevant. They didn't deserve it. They've got no history. They're literally a little small club from Manchester who's got money injected into them. And if they win the quadruple, then it's like, oh look, City have won a quadruple. No one expected this. Oh my god! It's like no one actually cares. And within a year, people are going to move on and forget about it.
That's it. They're never going to have a dynasty. They're never going to have a legacy. Just like the old gods, like Man United, Arsenal, Liverpool. They meant something. This club is shallow. They got nothing. They got no values. And you asking me to respect Man City? Fuck off with these fuckers.
So, I guess where you guys are coming from, the angle you guys are coming from is you want to win the game against Manchester City because it favors you to make top 4 more than you actually give a shit about who wins the title, because it's equally as bad.
But then I don't want Liverpool to. I don't want Man United to be the reason why Liverpool won the league. I just don't want to gift it. I just want basically Liverpool to drop a few points and then City to drop a few points before they face us.
I don't give a shit because whoever wins the league.
No, but then they're gonna be meme central soon.
It's gonna just. Yeah, but we've got Liverpool to thank for getting Mourinho sacked. So
come on, think about Sanz taking the piss out of me every single week, coming on saying you helped us win the league. Look how shit that is. You know how shit that feels.
Yeah, but who cares? Like, we stopped.
I care, man. I care.
Let's all look on the bright side.
Well, there is no bright side to this.
No, there is a bright side.
There literally is.
No, there is. The bright side is at least Tottenham aren't going to win the league.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, but Major Mouth, we're still in it. It's still not over until the final game of the season is here. It's not over, yeah, mate. That's what I'm saying. It's not over until it's over. Okay. Until the fat lady sings, okay? Until Susan Boyle is out there singing, it's not over. Yeah, mate.
I'm the only one who's going to back Spencer.
You know what she's going to sing? She's going to sing White Horses. She's going to sing White Horses because Tottenham are going to rampage back to the top of the league because City, they're going to drop points. Alright, Liverpool, they are drop points because Salah's dead, Mane's dead, Firmino's dead, they're all dead. We're gonna beat them at Anfield, we're gonna beat City at the Etihad, we're gonna beat City in the Champions League, and Harry Kane is gonna score in all of those games, and we're gonna come back and Poch will deliver us this title that he's promised us. Alright? We've been promised the title. Same ways we've been promised the stadium, and now we're getting delivered a stadium. We're going to be playing in a stadium against Man City. You know what's going to happen in that Champions League game against Man City? He's going to be rocking. He's going to be rocking, mate. The Spurnabell will explode. We will be oozing with whiteness. The Spurs will come, and we will win the double because we've been promised to win the double. Yeah, that's what I expect. Now come on, you Spurs, and finish your dinner.
Oh, by the way, Spencer, the final's not at the Bernabeu. It's at the Metropolitano.
It's at the Spurnabell. I was talking about the Spurnabell, you mug. I was not talking about a final. I know the final's at Atletico Madrid's ground. I got me tickets booked. I mean, this guy's unbelievable. I got me tickets booked, yeah? You have no tickets because you're in the piss hole in the Europa League. You're in the Europa League. You go fuck off. You're going to get smashed by Napoli. You got lucky against Spain.
That's where
you got lucky against Rent. You got lucky against Rent. You got beaten by Bate Borisov. Get fuck off, mate. Come on, you got no argument in this.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I actually like Spencer a lot. I mean, I actually want Spurs to win this one.
How does he keep getting onto this podcast?
I have no idea, man. I have no idea.
This guy's it's more deluded than Kyle or Adam.
I don't care. I just want him in the pod every week because he's putting me to sleep.
Are you allowing him onto our podcast? Are you giving him access?
Yeah. I mean, this guy, thinking they're going to get to the Champions League final. Get the fuck out of here.
I know. On that low rubbish note, we move on to the Italian league. Now, Juventus, with their first domestic loss of the season, losing 2-0 away to Genoa. What are your thoughts on this all? But their first loss in the league this season.
Well, Juve are fucking dead in terms of performance without Ronaldo. Ronaldo didn't play. This was absolutely like vintage Juve in terms of how bad they've been in recent weeks, in the last 5 or 6 weeks before the Atletico game. They engineered a magnificent comeback powered by basically Ronaldo and Bernardeschi against Atletico Madrid. And the moment they decided to rest some of those frontline guys and play Dybala and Mandzukic up front, and Allegri went with a 3-5-2, it went to shit.
Yeah.
It just went to shit. They were completely useless in this game. I mean, statistically, this was pathetic. I'm accessing the stats right now. I got a little problem.
Doesn't this
here.
just show? This just shows what's wrong with the Italian league. It's like if in the Premier League, if City or Liverpool were to lose a game, now that could drastically change the title race. Whereas Juventus, even with losing, they're still 15 points clear of Napoli.
I mean, yeah, they
that's
are.
why Gascoigne is going to move there, right? I'm still not finished with that fucker.
You're still mad about Guardiola. Oh man. But anyway, with Juventus and again, I'm searching for the exact stats here because I saw it was something crazy. Yeah. They had 0 shots on target.
Wow.
I didn't again.
That is bad.
I knew they had 0 shots on target, but I wanted to check the exact stats. I went to 2 different sites because, I mean, different sites register different things. So I was kind of like, well, maybe they hit a post or something. But because I honestly didn't watch this game because I was at a live game locally. But I heard about them playing shit, and I saw the highlights of the game, and Genoa completely, outplayed them. Juve had 57% possession, 3 shots, 0 on target. 0 on target.
Wow. That is bad.
Terrible. And
it just shows how much teams rely on Ronaldo, to be honest. You see it at Real Madrid this season, how downhill they've gone. These teams really do rely on Ronaldo so much.
But listen to the names that played. So, Juve lost 2-0, 0 shots on target, in a team where Bonucci, Emre Can, Pjanic, Bentancur, Alexandro, Cancelo, Dybala, and Mandzukic all played.
Yeah.
See, that's
it's poor. But to be fair, losing your first game this way into the season, and we're calling Juventus poor, that just shows the state of the Italian league.
Yeah, but they've been shit for 6 weeks, and apart from that Atletico game, they haven't been good at all, and I just don't. That's the thing where and what I hear from most of the Serie A podcasts that I listen to, everyone keeps pointing out that there's no consistency in this team, and when I see them, there isn't. They're just so up and down, and obviously they can turn it on when it's necessary, but they can't possibly win the Champions League by being so hot and cold. They have to get some sort of consistency, because sooner or later they will run into someone like a Man City, and this will not work. Yeah. This sort of grinded out, balls on the chopping block and basically, I don't know what else to call it, but what's the word I'm looking for?
Inconsistency.
The offensive constipation. Not the consistency. They're literally like someone that has constipation. When you can't take a shit for 10 days. That's Juventus. They can't take a shit for literally 6 weeks. And unless it's Ronaldo trying to drag the goals out of the team, they're not doing fuck all.
Ronaldo's like a laxative in the team.
Exactly. If there's no Ronaldo, there's no goals. Zero. Absolute.
Wow.
Absolute dead team.
Who would have followed Dybala after the season? Are they going to sell him?
Well, Real Madrid are still being linked with him, aren't they? They're still linked with Real Madrid, and they could cost like up to 70 million for him.
Yeah, but he doesn't look good.
Yeah,
he's not.
But it's Real Madrid. They buy players and
buy players. He's not doing
especially
fuck all.
Zidane's going to be rebuilding heavily in the summer as well.
He can rebuild. I don't know. He can build the fucking Egyptian pyramids back up again. Like Dybala's not doing fuck all right now. He's not a 70 million player. He's not.
They're probably more likely to go for Icardi, aren't they?
Yeah, but see, people have been saying that like Real is going to pay 100 million on Dybala. Not this guy. Not from this season. Like you're not getting 100 million.
Not from current form. No, not from current form.
And this is I just don't get it with this team because you're playing fucking Genoa away. It's not you're not playing like Man City. You're not playing some sort of powerhouse. Why the fuck are you playing 3-5-2?
Could it be complacency as well? Because they've gone how many games in now? They're 28 games in, so they've gone 27 games of the season. Only dropped 6 points before that loss, so they've not lost a game domestically. And they probably saw it as a mid-table team, get complacent, and he came back to bite them.
Yeah, but
that's the only thing I can think of.
It's still like you cannot have. We were talking about Manchester United being dead. Ash.
Yeah.
If this happened to Manchester United, 0 shots on target against the mid-table team, what would the reaction be?
Ollie out.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have gone on a similar rant that I did before, a short while ago.
But I'm saying like someone like Massimiliano Allegri. And by the way, this is a manager a lot of Arsenal fans wanted at our club. You think,
including me?
Yeah, you think that you would stand for this shit if we had 0 shots on target against?
Of course,
I don't know, Leicester?
No.
Absolutely not.
No, listen. But then, there's this point, where you just basically come off a tough Champions League fixture, you rested your main player, and then you just want to, just surf through the league. That's what he's doing. That's what I feel he's trying to do.
Yeah.
He's basically playing out for a draw, showing up to these, you could say unimportant games. So, and then there's this one odd game that actually comes back to bite you, and then sadly it happened to be Genoa.
That's
and the guy, and Pandev scored against him. He was a former Inter player.
Yeah, that's the thing. Out of 28 games, Juventus have only dropped 9 points for the whole season. That is still, they still could potentially get 105 points out of a possible 114 at the end of the season.
Again, I'm not talking about that. Their league form is not important here. I'm talking about the general context of how Juve have looked since the turn of the year. Since the turn of the year, they've been crap. They haven't played well. Other than the Atleti game at home, they haven't had a good performance this entire year, the entire 2019. We're talking about Liverpool not playing well in the Premier League. Juventus have looked like crap and have won. They've gotten away beating teams like Frosinone and Bologna barely on basically scraps.
That's the thing about Juve, it's similar to cities. They don't care about the FA Cup, like their domestic Coppa Italia, and then they know it's already in the pocket. Their project was winning the Champions League, and they basically have a lot of veterans in their squad we're gonna maximum at max give another 2 years. So they've got to get that Serie before time runs out. And like you said, if I was a Juve fan, I'd be slightly worried about it. Not much, because we've been doing good, and recently.
Yeah.
But then, if I actually had City, I'd actually shit my pants right now, because I'm not sure if you play at that level, City, you're gonna escape unharmed against City, irrespective of whether you have Ronaldo or the Messi, because that team is on another level. So
Well, that's probably the biggest going.
Before we move on to the Milan derby, which obviously was the big game in Italy this week, we started with the Juve upset, but because the Juve upset, I think, is a larger talking point, and I just want to end with this question. And I think this is a good one-word answer question, and I'll start with you, Ash. If Juve don't pick up their performances, are they still able to win the Champions League?
I'm actually rooting for Juve, because I personally believe they have a good defensive lineup.
Yeah, but do you
to
think
hold these?
if they what I'm asking you is, if they don't pick up their form, do you think
there's
they
no
can
chance.
do it?
There's no chance. No. There's no chance. If they play as dead as I saw them play last week, the first leg against Atletico, there's not a single chance, because City would blow them apart when they play at home.
Yeah.
City would maximize the lead.
Yeah. Tony, you agree or?
I disagree, because you say about City. For me, City always seem to bottle the Champions League. For me, if Juventus don't win it this season, I think Barcelona will. I think the only team that'll be able to stop Juventus in Europe this season is Barcelona. For me personally.
Yep.
Hang on. No, you got Liverpool too, so let's not take them lightly, because Van Dijk.
I'd still say Barca or Juventus. I said that from the beginning of the season, and I stick by that.
Yeah. Anyway, on that point, in Italy as well, the game of the weekend, the entire weekend of football, I think the best game this weekend was the Milan derby. Milan 2, Inter 3. Milan were the nominal hosts. They had most of the ticket allocation, but it was an insane atmosphere. The derby mattered again after a while, because both Milan teams look to be Champions League teams again. They're both in the top 4 as of right now, with Roma falling apart. We'll get to Roma in a couple of minutes after we recap this, but this was a statement win from Inter. This was a statement win from Luciano Spalletti, who basically, you and I, Tony, and I know you, Ash, as well, are informed on the situation, but particularly you and I, Tony, were making fun of Spalletti and how shit Inter were for the last 5 or 6 weeks.
Absolutely. So they were so far ahead, and they were pretty much like in the driving seat for third place, and they pretty much have jumped. They've done what Tottenham have done basically, and dropped back into the top 4 race.
Yeah, and it's like, and not just that, the Europa League performance against Frankfurt was utter crap. They got smoked by a bad Frankfurt team. Frankfurt weren't anything special. Frankfurt,
though, for me, Frankfurt are underdogs in that Europa. For me, I would be very scared to get Frankfurt or Napoli, and obviously we got Napoli. So, but did you see who scored for AC Milan? Bakayoko.
Yeah, I did. I watched the whole game, and I'm gonna get to that. But on the Frankfurt point, I'll just like to say that people think that Frankfurt are underdogs. They didn't play that well. They're not a very good team in Europe. They're a kind of a methodical, direct side. They play well on the counterattack, but if you can limit them sort of linking up on the focal point that is Sebastian Haller. So if you can limit Jovic and Rebic linking up with Haller, you're pretty much figured them out. They can't do anything else. So
Sure.
if you can cut out Haller's link-up play, that's pretty much it. And Inter and Spalletti with a much better squad look completely inept. I mean, remember when Inter dropped out of the Champions League? We all saw Inter and Napoli as bigger favorites than Chelsea and Arsenal. Let's be real.
Absolutely. Yeah. I still see Napoli as a big favourite now as well.
Me too. But the fact is that Chelsea are now the favorites because we're going to slaughter each other with Napoli. So whoever comes out of that, which I, by the way, think will be Napoli, it's like we're going to just batter each other over the top of the head. And what's going to end up happening is Chelsea are going to steam through the final playing teams like Slavia Prague. By the way, Slavia Prague, who are a shithouse team, are kind of they are a nasty team, nasty physical team, but not to get bogged down in the Europa League conversation. I'm just saying this Inter team should have been playing a lot better. Spalletti was on the edge of the sack, and he pulls out a performance like that in the Milan derby, which, by the way, this Inter team completely shut down Milan. Defensively, Skriniar and De Vrij were immense. They were absolutely immaculate defensively. Perisic and Politano tracking back, putting in the hard yards. Gagliardini, Brozovic, Vecino, hard-working midfield, completely nullified the running from deep from Bakayoko and Kessie. Of course, Bakayoko did score a goal, but in general, Timo Bakayoko
and
is
the consequence of this, Inter have moved back up to third as well.
Yeah, but in general, Timo Bakayoko, I want to say something on this guy. Chelsea fans will maybe get pumped if you hadn't watched the game. You might get pumped because Bakayoko scored a goal. But in general, Bakayoko moved the ball so slowly. He was so lethargic on the ball. It took him 3 or 4 touches to lay the ball off back to the center back. It's just this guy in general is someone who dwells on the ball way too much, wastes far too much time. And what Milan needed with the way they played, they needed quick ball flow, quick movement. And Paqueta gave them that. But Paqueta got tired. That's a problem.
Yeah,
Brozovic, Gagliardini, and Vecino were basically kicking him around as much as they could. Same with De Vrij and Skriniar and what they did to Piątek. Piątek basically, if Skriniar had pulled out a cleaver and started chopping Piątek to bits, I wouldn't have been surprised. It was that was the way Inter center backs were playing Piątek. They're basically just banging him around, and the referee didn't seem to give a shit because Piątek's a big boy. Obviously, he can take a punishment. But on the other side, Lautaro Martinez, when he would get sort of driven into by Romagnoli and Musacchio, they were always seemed to be teetering on the edge of a yellow card. And by the way, Lautaro, who played fantastically well along with Matteo Politano on the right wing, they were absolutely majestic, the both of them. Perisic was a threat down the left, but he was mostly dealt with by Calabria. But in terms of Inter going forward, I think Politano and Martinez are the way to go. I don't think they should go back to Icardi. I think Icardi, by deciding to not play this derby because he's listed to have a knee injury, but we all know this is a phantom injury. We all know this doesn't exist.
Of course.
This is made up. I think he's done. I think Nainggolan's done. Nainggolan didn't play either. I think both of them are better off essentially staying out the team for good because the way this Inter team played with the midfield of Brozovic, Vecino, and Gagliardini, it's the way forward. They should be a counter-attacking team. It suits Spalletti. It suits their personnel, the way they play. Go out there, play on the break, be tough to break down, have work rate. Because, I mean, Nainggolan and Icardi are just like they're just two egos that don't fit the team ethic with which Inter played, and that's what I want to point out from this game. Milan were putting pressure. Go.
Yeah. I just want to say, just a quick, while we're on the topic of the Italian league, just a big shout out to Chievo, who actually got another point on the board. 11 points now, so a big round of applause to Chievo.
You and your Chievo fascination. Like, you're fascinated with fucking Chievo Verona. You're fascinated with Chievo. I can't believe this. Every single week. But I just wanted to run the point on Inter on this being a collective victory. They won in sort of a team over individual kind of way. And if they had individuals in the team like Nainggolan and like Icardi, I think it would only be to the detriment of their performance and what they did, because they absolutely nailed sort of the tactical approach that Spalletti wanted to employ. They nullified Milan. Milan scored 2 goals, but both of them came after pretty, I'd say, scrappy moments in the Inter's backline, especially the Musacchio goal to take it down to 3-2. It was a free kick header from Bakayoko. So other than that, Milan basically played like crap. I mean, their wingers were dead, their movement was dead. Piontek was left feeding off of scraps, and even like that, he had a brilliant touch on the ball where he tried to backheel the ball from a very, very tight angle and almost put it in the near post top corner, and it would have been a fantastic goal if he had scored it, but he was feeding off of scraps. Çalhanoğlu, not good enough. Suso, absolute crap. Samo Castillejo, when he came on, provided pace, provided width, but again, no end product. It was just flat from Milan, but not because they weren't good. They had the initiative. They were trying, but Inter were dogged and absolutely nailed the tactical plan. And I want to give credit to Spalletti, because we've been shitting on him for a while on this show. We've buried Spalletti, but he nailed this game. When it mattered, he pulled it off.
And with Inter obviously winning, obviously, like I said before, they've overtaken AC Milan now, but they've also pulled ahead further of Roma, who lost 2-1 away to Spal this weekend. What was your thoughts on that?
I'll just get over with this quick, because I had a Roma rant last week, and again, I'm just gonna say to Jim Pallotta, this is your mess. This is not Monchi's mess. This is not Di Francesco's mess. Roma fans, this is not the mess of your former sporting director. This is not the mess of your former manager. This is the mess of your owner. The reason why you're losing to fucking Spal, who are terrible and are on the edge of relegation, the reason why you're giving way in the top 4 scrap, by the way, your owner brought in Claudio Ranieri to guarantee Champions League places. He's going to guarantee fuck all. You know what he's guaranteed? He's guaranteed turning you back into a Stone Age team. Dilly dong, hit it long. That's Claudio's tactics. Your best player this season, Nicolo Zaniolo, 19-year-old prodigy. You know where he was, Tony?
Where?
On the bench.
Wow.
That's your owner.
Wow.
That's your owner for you. So go ahead. Rush to decisions. Quit on a young team. Do it. Yeah, they're not consistent. Why? Because you have a bunch of young, prodigious players that need nurturing, that need time and in a system under a manager that's going to pull them through. And then you're going to have a team for the next 5 to 6 years to compete with the big boys, because you don't have the money. But you think because you're fucking Roma and you're fucking Jim Pallotta, you think you're a big boy now because you have a team. Go fuck yourself, you mug. Absolute disgrace. I hate these Americans when they come in with all of their
Gonke.
knowledge of the world, because you know how these guys act. This Palota guy is the same
Gonke.
as every single American owner. He comes in and he thinks he has the knowledge of the world in his little finger. That he knows everything.
Gronky.
Exactly. You don't know shit. It took Kroenke 10 years to learn some humility. It'll take you a lot more, Jim Palota. It will take you a lot more because you're a dickhead. And you just cost yourself the Champions League places. You just fired a great manager and you just fired a great sporting director who were trying to build a project for you long term. And you're not getting your fucking stadium. It's not getting built. It's a pipe dream. So
Lazio have a game in hand, so Lazio could overtake Roma if they win.
I want them to overtake Roma. Go ahead, overtake Roma, because we discussed the pressure of being at Roma last week. And you bet, I can bet you right now, Tony, every single Roma Ultra knows exactly where Jim Palota lives when he's in Rome. Please let Lazio overtake them.
Scared.
Please let Lazio play Champions League next season.
Oh.
I want Lazio
Imagine
to play
that
Champions League
Lazio
next
getting
season.
the top 4 and Roma miss out. Oh my
Good
goodness.
luck.
That would be
Good
painful.
luck, Palota. Good luck. This is your mess. You go ahead and try and fix this. Dickhead.
Wow. On that note, we move over to the La Liga. Leaders Barcelona winning 4-1 away to Real Betis. Do we need to speak here? This is Barcelona's to lose now, isn't it, really? Especially with Atletico losing as well.
I mean, the only thing we need to speak about is the fact that Lionel Messi scored another hat-trick, and now he's tied with all-time La Liga hat-tricks with Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
And, I mean...
But can I say, Ronaldo done it in a much shorter time span.
True, but, again, that's what I was pointing out to people in a chat I think 2-3 days ago, when I said that when it's all said and done, Messi's going to have all the La Liga records, but Ronaldo is going to have all the international competition records. That means with the national team and Champions League, Ronaldo's going to own everything.
Exactly.
From goals, assists, appearances, everything. It's all going to be Ronaldo. In La Liga, it's going to be Messi. And again, people have aesthetic pleasure from the way Messi plays. I get what people are saying with Messi. Messi is an artist, but it's to me it's very
Ronaldo's
much
a machine.
Exactly. It's like it's very much whether you prefer efficiency or you prefer art. If you're an artistic fan, you're gonna go for Messi.
It comes down to preference.
Yeah.
It's all preference.
Does.
For me, I prefer watching Ronaldo personally.
Me too, because I prefer the intensity and the ruthlessness of his finishes. But of course, I do understand when people say that Messi is an artist, and I get what they mean, because he scored a couple of phenomenal goals in this game against Betis that they won 4-1. It's just. It's the ease with which Messi makes it look that I think draws people into to make them the greatest of all time. And it's very much that Maradona factor where it's not necessarily how much he scores, it's that when he scores, it's the goals are great. And I'm not saying that Messi hasn't scored a ton of goals. Obviously, he scored a bunch of a ridiculous amount of goals. But typically, when Messi scores a goal, it's more of a highlight goal than a Ronaldo goal.
Yeah.
At least it's not that Ronaldo can't score great goals, he can, but Messi scores more beautiful goals than Ronaldo does.
Yeah. But in other news, Spain, bottle drops Atletico, losing 2-0 away to Athletic Bilbao. What are your thoughts on this?
Oh, they're crumbling now. Zidane is going to overtake them. I fully believe that by the end of the season, Zinedine Zidane is going to have this Real Madrid team overtaking Atletico.
And we can laugh at Andres.
Let's just be real. Atletico have completely crumbled.
As predicted.
In a span of 5 days, they've gone from basically being in the title chase and being in pole position to knock out Juve, one of the Champions League favorites. They've gone to getting out the Champions League and quite possibly are now going to finish third because the way that Real Madrid looked, and we're going to finish Spain on this note, Zidane's first game back at Real Madrid, Isco scoring and Gareth Bale scoring, both being restored to the side after being in the doghouse under Solari. Real Madrid looking like Real Madrid again, playing a 4-2-3-1, dominating possession, dominating chances, absolutely shutting down Celta Vigo. And again, I know that Celta are crap this year. They're in the relegation zone. They've lost their last 3 games. They haven't won in a pretty long time in the league. They're likely going to get relegated. They've had a crap season. And Celta, by the way, have a talented squad. These players are not bad. It's just that it's been a complete mess at Celta, and it hasn't worked out for them. After quite a few years, at least 2 or 3 years being in the top half of the table, it's just not worked out for Celta Vigo. And again, I don't want to take anything away from Real Madrid's performance. That's why I'm saying I'm talking up Celta Vigo here, because Real were very, very good and looked back to what Real Madrid should look like. Dominant performance. Luka Modric back on form, dominated midfield alongside Kroos.
Zidane's a genius. Zidane is a genius.
It's not just that he's a genius. I think he's a brilliant man-manager. I think the fact that you can just plug in Kroos and Isco and Bale and Asensio back in and have a striker that's as dead as Benzema, who, again, did have an assist, but, again, he was missing chances, and he will definitely go in the summer. But the way Gareth Bale played in this game, the way Isco played in this game, it was like somebody told them, hey, guys, you're professional football players. You'll get to enjoy yourselves. Like, go out there and play. Go out there and do what you're best at. And they did.
Absolutely.
And this team, like, Marcelo was back to his old best, making runs and assisted a brilliant goal, a brilliant team goal by Real Madrid, where Gareth Bale finished it off. But it was a terrific run by Marcelo, where he looked back to his, not just his former self, it was Marcelo of 2-3 years ago, prime Marcelo, basically running the entire length of the field, going past a couple of players, laying it off, and Bale finishing it in the bottom corner. It's
absolutely
this team under Zinedine Zidane. I don't know what it is with this guy. I know that he, like I said, he's a brilliant man manager, but it's as if I talked about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer performing black magic. Like, Zidane obviously has pixie dust in his bag as well. I think those ridiculous jeans that he was wearing, there's some sort of fairy dust in the jeans.
I think on that note, the Spanish league pretty much wrapped up. We go to Germany. Bayern Munich hitting 6th. Once again, beating Mainz 6-0 at the Allianz Arena. What are your thoughts on this thrashing?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a useless thrashing, because Bayern are still trying to compete for the title, and goal difference might come into it, because
Dortmund did win as well, 3-2, get away to Berlin.
Yeah, they got away with it. It was Dortmund again not performing well, again looking leggy, looking tired. All of the symptoms that I've listed in previous podcasts with Lucien Favre and his teams. Like, they just drop off this time of year, and tactically they look as if they've been figured out. Teams have been setting up against Dortmund since the Spurs game. Basically, what I've seen against Dortmund is a lot of teams employing a 3-man back line, basically a 3-5-2, same thing that Spurs did, congest the middle, force them to try and play through you, and it mostly doesn't work for Dortmund. They got away with it against Hertha, but I don't see this working out for Dortmund, and especially when they go away to the Allianz to face Bayern. I think this is going to be done and dusted in that game, because Bayern hitting 6, James Rodriguez scoring a hat trick. This was obviously, in my opinion, a feel good factor for Bayern Munich after getting knocked out the way they did against the likes of Liverpool. It was a crap performance in that game. Bayern fans were not pleased. Kovac was getting a lot of stick, a lot of pressure, and I think this is the best possible way that this Bayern team could have responded. And I think some of these players might stick around for next year, but I also wanted right here to tease our transfer show that's going to be coming to you guys as a podcast during this international break, where we are going to go through transfer rumors and big-time rebuilds coming in the summer, like Bayern Munich, like Real Madrid, who's in, who's out. Potentially, we're going to touch on what PSG need to do in order to avoid the financial fair play ramifications of their early Champions League exit. We're going to touch on that as well. But for this Bayern team, I think it's very interesting that James Rodriguez got a hat-trick, that at least in the Bundesliga, he's looking very, very good. That might bode well for him staying under Niko Kovac. Now, again, I'm not quite sure, but it's certainly, if there is a taker for James, it most likely will be Bayern, but I think Bayern are going to shift a lot of these guys out, because just the age of this squad and the way they went out to Liverpool. Rafinha's 33, he's old. Robben's old. Ribéry's old. Ribéry's 36. He's ancient.
Yeah.
It was Ribéry.
Just to say, on this new transfer podcast we're going to be doing, I've got some huge stories in the pipeline, just so that we get a heads up to the viewers.
Yeah, definitely getting that part out there. And to end on this, in the Bundesliga, it's looking likely for Bayern Munich again, that as if most of this team that people know for years and years, guys that have been with Bayern, they are going to be swept aside under the rug quite ruthlessly, and it's a mark, in my opinion, of a big club. To be able to do what Bayern are going to do this summer, this is a mark of a big club. When obviously the era is gone, I think guys like Boateng, guys like Müller, possibly even Lewandowski, though I'm not sure. Hummels, his form has picked up somewhat, but again, quite possibly Hummels, but definitely Ribéry, Robben, Boateng for sure. Müller, I think, is a goner. A lot of these guys are heading for the exit doors at Bayern, and they're going to bring a lot of guys in. And definitely, to end on this note with Bayern, a young guy that they brought in over from the MLS, an academy product from Canada called by the name of Alphonso Davies. Tremendous pace player, very good young wide player. Has bags of potential, bags of talent. If he is developed properly, he could be a very, very good player for Bayern for years to come. They of course paid 15 million euro for him in the winter transfer window, which is a huge amount of money for an MLS player. It's massive, especially an 18-year-old.
Absolutely.
This kid showed his potential. He came on, he scored a goal on his debut. Took him only 10 minutes to score his goal. Again, it was a 6-0 trashing, and he scored the final goal. But nevertheless, you can't quite disparage a young player like that for getting on the score sheet.
No,
definitely,
absolutely.
He's a player to watch.
Absolutely. On that note, we move to our last segment, the French League. Again, PSG 3-1 winners at home to Marseille, and Lille on Friday night losing at home 1-0 to Monaco.
Does anyone
PSG
care?
20 points clear. With their game in hand, PSG could potentially go 23 points clear. Is there anything to say here? PSG on the brink of mathematically claiming the title once again.
Yeah.
Do we need to say anything here?
On that point, Tony, I think it's the perfect moment for us to thank our regulars, thank Dan, thank Sanj, thank Ash. We will end on the question that we will post on the Rant Boys podcast Twitter, and you can tweet us. Does anyone really care about the French league? No one does, right?
No.
And the reason
except for PSG fans.
The reason why we're mentioning this, by the way, is simply because week in, week out, we want to remind you guys that there's a league that's called a top 5 European league that's being played by one team.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the sole point.
It's a joke.
It is a joke, and the reason why we end with this league and why we keep beating basically a dead horse with the French league is because we want fans to be aware that if more owners like PSG's owners come into our sport, there are going to be more and more leagues like the French league.
What the French league has become is the actual definition of what is wrong with modern day football.
Exactly, and that is why we keep beating this dead horse, and that's why it might be a boring note to hit over and over again, but we will keep hitting it because
absolutely
we believe, as a group of football fans, we all believe that people like PSG's owners have no place in the sport and should not be allowed to do what they're doing in France, which is wrecking the competition. They're
not even owned by a company or an owner. They're owned by a country.
Yeah, it's
pretty much
it's a country. It's a sports wash PR movement, and it's
exactly.
It's a disgrace. And on that point, you guys, please make sure to rate, subscribe, comment, review. Thank you for remaining loyal and patient with us. We hope to put out plenty of more content in the future. Of course, the live shows coming. It's in the tank. It's likely going to debut next weekend on a Saturday. We will be announcing
the transfer as well.
The transfer podcast as well. That will be uploaded on YouTube later this week after we do it. Please share with your friends if you like what we're doing. We're going to have live call-ins, let you guys interact with us. We're going to welcome anyone and everyone on the show. Share your opinions. Of course, you need to accept the fact that there's going to be a lot of banter back and forth. We're that kind of a podcast. I mean, the name says it. There's going to be
absolutely
yelling back and forth. So if you're someone who's a bit timid and doesn't like to be challenged on your opinions, prepare to be challenged on your opinions because we're going to do that. But it's all in good spirit. It's all in all for the sake of good fan debate and positive banter. We're not here to insult anyone except for the rich guys who are trying to wreck the sport. This is the only people this podcast has a problem with. We love the fans of every club, even Tottenham, as you can tell by the fact that we allow Spencer, that I don't cut Spencer out the podcast when he does break in.
We have no choice. We have no choice. Somehow he keeps breaking in.
See, I can cut him out the podcast, but I want a Tottenham opinion out there. I think even though Spencer is deluded, I think he still speaks for a fan base, and I think again it shows our commitment as a podcast to the fans. So guys, please follow us on Rant_Boys on Twitter, at Obama G Yang on Twitter, at Tony Arsenal 1 on Twitter, at Dan Taylor on Twitter for Dan R graphics and visual producer. Of course, this has been the Rant Boys podcast. Weekend recap. We will be back again. I remind you, we'll be back with a transfer special. So stay tuned for that. Tony breaking down all the hottest rumors. Woogie will be back for that one to break down the talent side of things. So, Tony, on that note, this time next year,
we're going to be millionaires.
Yeah, baby. Goodbye, and thanks for listening to the Rant Boys podcast.
Goodbye.